Hello, everyone. I saw a new research report by LIMRA that just came out that talked about how 1 in 5 American investors that they surveyed had a formal written retirement plan in place, meaning most Americans did not. A lot of people had informal ones. But the interesting thing about this, and it's actually research we found back when I was at American College too, is that people with written plans felt more confident about their position for retirement than those without. In LIMRA's study, they found 87% of people with a written plan in place for retirement felt confident about retirement versus only 70% of those with an informal plan in place. The reality is planning impacts confidence, right? There's some measure between those two. And as you do more planning, you start to better understand the big picture, how everything fits in together. And another part of the research that LIMRA just pointed out, or findings, was how concerned people were with different retirement risks. And they actually found the 4 top ones I wanted to hit here. Cuts to Social Security and Medicare. Those are actually the majority of women investors, over 52%, said on an 11-point scale that they were 8 or higher concerned about Medicare and Social Security cuts. Actually, that's reasonable, right? These are things that are living on borrowed time in the current way of funding. And so these are reasonable concerns. Now, will the government address this at some point? Yes, likely, but they are reasonable things to be concerned about. We also saw tax increases as a high level of concern. About 40% of male investors for that, and inflation said, hey, we are really worried about inflation, and then, tax increases. So these are the things that investors are worried about today. Another interesting part of the research was the willingness to convert investments and assets into lifetime income sources has risen over the last 3 years from 42% to 52% in 2023. Now, if you dive into this one, a lot of this is because of rising interest rates. But as we see people that do more planning, they're actually more likely to buy lifetime income sources. So again, planning is driving outcomes. Now, remember, ultimately, retirement is not binary. It's not black or white. That these concerns are legitimate and they're valid that people are having, and planning increases confidence.